again, I had the SV555, which is the bigger one. That didn't require anything strange. There wasn't any weird adapters. It's M48, which, if you've got, that's super easy to get down to either M42 if you have a small camera or M54 if you've got a big camera. Like, for beginners, something like this would be really nice. It's got a ton of features that you'll grow into. So it's got like this rotator right here in the back, so you can actually rotate your camera without having to worry about the position of the telescope. And like at the beginning, you probably won't be thinking about framing and stuff like that, but like eventually you will. And it's nice that that's already there, because on a lot of other telescopes, you have to buy that on. And so it's a really nice thing to have. The assembly of this was super easy. Again, I have like I think a 45-minute long video about just this telescope. But yeah, the assembly is super easy. The quality is really good. So like as a beginner, when you're buying stuff, you should be thinking about how long can I get with this piece of equipment, because you'll be using this stuff for a while. And I would say that this thing, with the combination of the field of view and just the quality of the images, for a beginner, something like this would be good. And I'm very excited about like the 545 and the 535.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Francisco. And you, just as you said, use our high quality product. And even though you are a new beginner, but it's very easy and convenient for our new friends to use. And with our high passion, we can explore our deep sky. And how about you, Naz?
Yeah, no, I agree with everything Francisco said. It's easy, something. I mentioned this in my video, is that I love telescopes that are complete kits, and I think this is a complete kit. Like, you don't have to buy anything extra, like no adapters, but I have millions of adapters at home that I could use. And I think one of the other things that I like is the handlebar, that I think that most telescopes don't come with, which is super easy. And this doubles as a saddle. So you saw my guide scope on there, but I think moving forward I'll use an OAG and then put the SV241 Pro on there. But like something like this is, people don't think about, but just having this there, you appreciate it more. Just knowing that it's there, that you can use this not just as a handlebar, but as a dual saddle as well, which is what I really liked. Like, this is actually my first telescope with an actual handlebar, which is kind of weird. Right? I have like 20 telescopes and none of them have handlebars. Actually, none that doubles as like a finder saddle as well. So that was interesting. And yeah, like wide field, like if you want to start, I think a lot of beginners don't really know where to start, and they think that the biggest telescope is the best telescope, and they'll try and go for the biggest. There's somebody at my astronomy club who started with a C16, and then he sold it 2 months later because it was, and I think somebody else from the club bought it. He's like, "Whoa, great deal!" And yeah, exactly. that's for like 20. Well, a lot of my telescopes come from as well. And I'll be on Facebook Marketplace looking at like, hey, who bought new gear, doesn't know how to use it, and is looking to get rid of it. A lot of the times I'll offer them, hey, do you want to like know how to use them? Here's my local astronomy club. You can join us and come. But a lot of them, they're like, no, I tried this, for like 6 months. I don't know how to figure it out. It's too frustrating. And I'm like, I'm just not going to use it. And I don't think they're going to feel that frustration with a wide field setup like this. So I think that's something to keep in mind for everyone who's looking to start out.
Yes, thank you, Naz. I was the guy you said this. I think that the bigger one is the most excellent one or the best one. But actually, in our real life, the smaller one maybe is also the good one or the professional one. So the size is not important, but as we can know, the length and also the design and also the convenience, and it's very important than the size. Even though we have the big size, actually we have climbed the mountain and it's very heavy and it's not even convenient. So although
that's a really good point. I just want to talk about travel real quick. The best telescope is the one that you're actually going to use. That's the best telescope. And if you've got a thing that weighs 70 pounds, you're not going to take that with you anywhere. I recently traveled to Hawaii. I have a whole video about going up to the top of this 10,000-foot mountain. And I wasn't going to take any of these big chunky telescopes. I want to take something like this. And so, yeah, the best telescope is the one that you'll actually use. And because these are so light and compact, when I'm going to a state park that's near me, or if I'm getting on an airplane and going, a 10-hour airplane flight somewhere else, you want something small and lightweight because it gives you that opportunity to do it, the hobby that you're getting into, in places that are really beautiful and probably also really dark. So the travel, the travel is really, really important for me.
Yeah, I got you. Some of us, if we want to have a different experience or have a different view of the deep sky, so we should climb different mountain and travel another city. So we carry the heavy telescope. It's hard to say. So sometimes we take the community one, and it also can explore the clear sky and with a beautiful scenery. So I think that the size is not important, but the community is very. And also, now just as you said, the handle is also my favorite part. It's very easy to carry. You just carry this handle. So I think we will take your advice. We will take our product manager and also our friends. That's this handle we will also use in our another product as this. And also I have some other questions. Is that can you share the most unforgettable experience when you explore the deep sky or you're in the astrophotography?
Sorry, can you ask the question again?
I mean that can you share with us that which your most unforgettable experience to explore the deep sky or the astrophotography?
The most unforgettable experience is probably going to be the first time I did any kind of narrowband. Like there's so much stuff, like the picture behind me, like this is narrowband. Like these are actually visual targets too. Fun fact, if you have a big enough telescope, you can see some of the stuff visually, which is really neat. But the first time I took, like a dual narrowband filter picture with an OSC of like the Heart and Soul Nebula, just looking up and just seeing like, hey, there's so much stuff here, and they're so huge. I think to me that was like a big turning point to like how I approach astrophotography. That's where I started shifting from like longer and longer focal length to wider and wider field, and so I ended up with like my Samyang 135 millimeter lens, which is really wide field. It's an f2 70 millimeter aperture lens, and that's making me want to do like more monochrome next year as well. It's like I feel like I move steps every 7 years. It took me so long to go from a webcam to a DSLR and then to an Astrocam, and then now going to a monochrome imaging setup. I think I'm excited to learn about what's the whole monochrome world as well, and delving more into narrower and narrower band imaging. So like these are 7 nanometer filters, dual narrowband. I just want to see like what they look like with a 3 nanometer single color frame, single color filter. So I'm looking forward to doing that.
Nice.
Yeah, that's so
mono
cool.
is fun. It's if you've as long as you've built out your process and you're good about like flats and file organization, it's a blast. I learned that while I was learning how to shoot mono because I didn't have a process. It was fun, but it was a bit hectic. Yeah, that's cool. I have a really easy answer, I think, for my most memorable experience. About a year ago, a year ago in November, there was the first time I had gone to Hawaii, and I went up to Mount Haleakala and I took this image. Let me share my screen really quick. This was, come on. Yes, share my screen, please. Sorry. There we go. I took this image here. Let's see if I can get that up on the, there we go. And this is actually the same target that I used to test out the SV555. So this is the Pleiades. And while the data was being captured for this image, I proposed to my then girlfriend, now fiance. So during the capture of the photons for this specific image, I made one of the biggest life decisions I ever made on top of a volcano in Hawaii. So that's for me easily one of the most memorable things that I ever got to do. And it's so dark up there that I think this is the same amount of integration time. This is about 55 minutes of data, but you can see the difference that like the night sky can make on the quality of your images. But yeah, so that's probably my single most memorable. And then I would say that a close second is the first time I actually got